So I've walked a couple miles away from where I parked the van, trying to get closer to those birds, all those ducks that I showed you guys with the drone. And more importantly, I'm trying to get to that bald eagle that I saw. I'd love to be able to shoot that, but the only thawed place on this lake is way out in the middle, and that's where all the birds are hanging out. So might be a little bit of a reach. I came up this direction because I knew I could probably get closer than going the other direction. So there's also a couple hunters that came in on that side of the lake that we were on originally. So, oh shit, the bald eagle just took off. He probably spotted me. So let's see where he's gonna go and see if I can get some shots here.
With the eagle gone, I was filled with disappointment and doubt that I was going to be able to capture a photograph of this seasonal visitor in this location. And to make things worse, all of the birds that were there for me to photograph were all hanging out in the middle of the lake in this little bit of unfrozen water. So getting close enough to grab a compelling photo of these subjects seemed impossible. So I had a decision to make. I could either stay and hope I bumped into that eagle again, or I could move on to another area I knew I could capture more compelling photos of wildlife. Now, if you've followed my work for a while now, you know that photographing bald eagles, although I haven't done it a whole bunch, is probably one of my favorite animals to photograph. Now, grizzly bears are definitely number one, but I haven't had much opportunity to photograph those just yet. With my time in this area limited to just 2 more quality shooting times, I opted to go ahead and stick it out and see what I could come up with. After I grabbed these shots, I decided to head to the other side of the lake to see if I could get just a little bit closer to that flock of snow geese I captured earlier, which I sort of did, but you might notice that this shot is a little blurry, and this is why.
So, not my smartest move. I knew that there was a chance of maybe falling through the ice when I came over on this side to see if I can get closer to the snow geese and that whole flock of ducks. And instead of changing to my waterproof boots, I got too excited and just bolted out there. But I didn't bring a video camera with me or any other gear because I knew that they'd probably be a risk of maybe falling through the ice, which makes all of this even more ironic. That I knew all of this, and yet I still soaked my main pair of boots, and I have waterproof boots. So, yeah, you know, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. So, I'll show them to you guys. All these trips aren't always, you know, like dandelions and bluebirds everywhere. Like, there's stuff like this. Now, self-inflicted, I will say. Definitely self-inflicted. Yeah. Yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to change, and we're going to head to where I want to camp tonight. Maybe do some more wildlife photography later tonight too, but definitely tomorrow morning we're going to be doing some. So yeah, let's head over to our campsite.
After spending the afternoon waiting in this area to see if that bald eagle would come back, I decided it was time for me to head out and find a camp spot for the evening and to rub salt into the wound. When I rounded one of the corners, I caught something out of the corner of my eye, and sure enough, it was the eagle I was looking for, along with 2 juvenile bald eagles. By the time I could get my camera up and start to shoot, they were long gone. So I failed yet again. At this point, I'm even more ticked off and disappointed with how my day went. So I made for the hills to find me a place to hunker down, make some food, and get some much needed rest. Okay, I wanted to camp here, but that is not going to happen. I got to head back down. But when I was trying to turn around, I saw this. I saw where somebody else was getting stuck before. So I didn't want to do the whole loop around this tree and get myself stuck. But in doing so, I actually kind of got myself stuck. So thankfully, there's a bunch of like flat rocks that were around, like these bad boys. I was able to wedge those underneath the tires and built up enough RPMs, let go of the brake, and here we are. So my heart is pounding a little bit on that one, getting stuck out here, but I had a shovel, I had other recovery gear, and also had these rocks and the knowledge of how to use them. So yeah, but what I'm going to do is go find a different place to camp because this isn't going to work. So we'll go do that. tell you what, the hot water in the van makes it way worth it traveling in this thing. Just being able to clean up real quick, rinse off, and feel much better. So I'm going to continue to kind of clean up for the rest of the, get things put away, get organized, because we're going to be heading out of here bright and early, right at sunrise in the morning, to hopefully get on to some coyotes. Brought some calls, so we're going to see if we can call in some coyotes or coyotes. Us rednecks out west, we call them coyotes, but most people call them coyotes. So I'll probably call them coyotes, but that's just me. So I'm going to call them, see if we can get anything, but that's pretty much it for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and throw all the window shades on. I mean, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so it's not really for privacy. It's more for insulation. Get everything insulated real good so this can get nice and toasty in here. I got the diesel heater running. Currently it is 55 degrees in here, but I've had the door open and everything, so hopefully, I know that last night it got pretty comfortable in here when I first stayed out here. So yeah, all in all, it was an okay day, Not the best photography, but it's still fun. Got to chase some bald eagles, had some good conditions. It was supposed to snow today. That's one of the reasons I came out here, and it didn't snow, so that's kind of a bummer, but can't beat hanging around and under the stars with the campfire, eating good meals. I'll see you guys in the morning. I only had time to make about 4 call stands that morning, and I only managed to call in 2 coyotes. One which was running away by the time I saw it, and the other one wouldn't come any closer than this. At this point in the journey, I had my tail whipped unexpectedly by a bald eagle, and now again by the subject matter that I drove all the way out here to see. I needed a pick-me-up in a bad way, which is exactly what I got. With my spirits lifted, but with time almost done on this leg of this journey, I decided to take the long scenic route back to the main highway to see what I could find. And let me tell you, this is probably one of the best decisions I have made on a photo shoot in a very long time. Now, I feel like I need to give you a little bit more backstory before I talk about this shoot any further. The location that we are at for this episode is where my love for the outdoors was birthed. Growing up in Vegas, my parents found and took advantage of every opportunity they could to take me and my brother away from the city. And this place was often where we went. Now, we actually own some property not far from where I was doing most of this filming, where we have a couple fifth wheel trailers and some sheds for storing boats and other supplies. And maybe later on, that property will show up on the channel, but for now, we're not going to do that. But these lakes and these mountains were the backdrop for where I learned how to fish, hunt, start a fire, navigate the outdoors, you name it. I learned it right here. And so photography for me is so much more than the quality of the photos that I capture. For me, it's about experiencing moments, and sometimes I'm lucky enough to document these moments and share them with you guys. Now, to be able to experience the moment that I did on this shoot, and to be able to photograph an animal I have never seen in my 26 years of coming to this location. Look, anyone in my circle will tell you that I am terrible with emotions. But this shoot, it got to me. And I am so happy that I get to share it with you. Now, this right here, this is why I love photography. So if this is something that you are interested in experiencing with me, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Thank you for experiencing nature through my lens, and I will see you in the next adventure.